They said that they essentially refused to stay here and answer questions because they don't want to answer questions in a public meeting by the board.
I apologize, I should have said something sooner.
So yes, so essentially, you know, we're at the point now where this is the roof we have. This is the roof that was purchased by whoever 15 years ago. We can either put some money into this, then keep up with the maintenance so we can extend this warranty out another, what was it, 15 years?
Yeah.
And then we'll be covered, or we start over and.
When we talk about the warranty, and I understand what we're going through, because it's an aged roof. What warranty, what's the nature of the warranty that we're saving by continuing the upgrades that are required?
The continue the maintenance.
Well, so we continue with maintenance. What is the warranty that that's gonna help us?
The warranty, I mean, read the warranty, because it's worded so poorly that it basically protects us for nothing. So it's like, pay us all this money and then we'll warranty it, but if anything goes wrong, you're still gonna keep paying to fix all the things along the way. It just doesn't seem,
But they
like
have
any
been
kind of
fixing stuff and they haven't been charging us for now. So they have been up here, you know, putting patches on, fixing leaks and not charging it, you know, covering that under the warranty. So if we want that to continue, we just have to pick one of their three options.
If that continues where they're patching and fixing, and that's part of the warranty coverage that we don't have to pay, that's one thing. But if it's, as Megan indicated, anything that goes wrong, we're gonna have to pay for, and there's no real warranty that pays for 10%, 20%, 30%. That's what I'm looking from a warranty standpoint. What is the percentage we're gonna not have and get paid back for maintaining the roof? But I be very honest with you, I did not read the agreement, you know, bad me, but
No, I more read the reports and did not, you know, I am not so far up on the agreement
Yeah.
either. I just figured that, you know, when you have a roof warranty, you have a roof warranty. And things get
and
fixed.
and every warranty is different, like we all know, with depending on what we're looking at. So.
and this
and
is a
that's what-
warranty I can't imagine any of the attorneys approving. And you can send it to David Kahn, I guarantee you he'll have that opinion.
But like I said, this is what we bought. This is what we bought 15 years ago. So, you know, our option now is to stay with what we have, keep it going, probably get another.
I mean, here's the reality, right? We've gotten three different opinions on this, and two of the companies said, this is the cost to completely replace your whole entire roof, right? They're coming in and saying, you don't actually need to, you can fix it, there's things that you can fix. And they're laying out what they, you know, three options that they think that we should do to be able to keep it in the warranty. But I think maybe it makes more sense to,
Quakertown can't afford that, so don't say it.
no, I'm not saying I'm saying it's clear to me that it looks like we can just repair things and extend the life of the roof. But I don't think that we're really getting anything from them as far as a warranty. I would be looking at what contractor can get things into the best shape for the longest period of time, at what cost. And I don't know that I'd be prioritizing this.
Do you even
warranty
have
aspect.
flexibility machines down there or something?
Yeah.
We would put it out to bid.
Yeah.
We would put it out to bid, but again, we'd have to have an engineering firm, you know, draw up exactly what we're putting out to bid.
So have you reviewed the warranty?
I have not, so, no,
Okay, all right,
I'm happy to do so.
So essentially, you know, option A, which is the minimum that they would require to be able to keep is only 47,000. All of those options, and I do know when we had SiteLogic doing the full report for the roof, why they recommended replacing the entire roof over the whole facility was so then you have one system across the whole
Sure.
thing. And, you know, in an ideal world, when we all have the money like Jim does, we would be able to, do that.
I don't have to.
I understand, But, so, you know, for $47,000,
Mr. Spears,
yes.
the total of option one was.
Hey, I'm sorry, 72, I got caught on the first,
Okay.
yes. So it's $72,000, you know, as
Wait.
opposed to,
Where's?
Yeah.
Option one,
no, it's, you gotta, I stopped, my eyes
Estimated
stopped there
budget.
too,
Number
yeah.
one. Okay.
It's
So,
more
like,
text, so I
Megan
understand.
makes it sound like we're gonna sign a contract and pay this company for the right to call them to charge us by the hour to fix the leak. That's what it sounds like.
But in
Read-
reality, in all the roof work that I see done around here, they give you a 20-year warranty, you get leaks after 10 years, they're flat, they've gotta be. So all we're gonna do is pick a company, and I would say Garland is as good as any, and let them maintain the roof. Tell us how to maintain the roof to get the longest life out of it as we can without stripping it all down and putting it over.
And the other option, or the other issue that became real clear, especially on that side of the building when we were on the roof, there's a lot of leaves up there. There's a lot of things that clog these drains that go down. So once there's standing water on a roof, you know,
Ain't going anywhere, ain't evaporating, it has leaks on it.
exactly, so there is, you know, building maintenance too, that maybe has been neglected for years moving into this too, that now we can look, you know, for future maintenance
I think that's a great
schedules
point,
to
actually.
have all of that included.
With the temporary missing of our maintenance, do you think that that specific task could make sure it makes it into the directive of the next, engineer? Not engineer, but,
Facility.
facilities manager, thank you so much.
Yeah, and it's just routine, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's actually a really good point.
Somewhere over here, there are documents for maintenance schedules. They're here somewhere. They were done. Joe Murphy worked on them. Before that, they worked on them.
So we have a
They're here
log,
somewhere.
a running log from year to year.
Well, there's a schedule, there's a maintenance schedule that says, you know, in fall, you may go up there once a week with a leaf blower, blow them off.
That makes me feel better that it was thought about at one point,
Yeah,
That's not to say it's been followed.
right? No, I agree.
It's here.
But how many people were just up on the roof? We could have all taken us, everybody could just,
Take a
Right
radio.
off the roof.
there was 5 of us.
so 5 of you could have cleared the roof tonight,
So Megan, what are, like,
just saying.
what are you suggesting we do with the 3 options in front of us? I'm not saying that's what I'm gonna do, I wanna know,
Yeah,
just a net,
Which
I
gets us
wanna know
in
your.
further,
I'm
further
kind of,
step.
where you're coming from.
I'm not even saying one way or the other, but like Dave mentioned, you know, getting this, the one option that we got from SiteLogic to just tear the whole roof off and replace it, I don't even
That's
believe
ridiculous.
that your board would want to stomach that.
Maybe we can stick to your
I'm not-
plan now.
I'm not suggesting we do that at all. I'm suggesting that we fix it. My frustration is we're going to, you know, pay them to fix something that they should be covering under warranty.
No, they're not covered.
Warranties don't cover
Warranties
everything.
don't cover everything
Warranty-
100% ever, like.
It's like a car warranty.
It's
I
not,
mean,
You're
It-
talking
it's a
about
car
not
warranty.
covering
They cover
things because
drivetrain
someone
and
might have set their
certain
tools there.
things.
And that might have been.
And that's what
uncalled for.
happens. None of these roofers will.
yeah,
Garland has done a good job in the recent history fixing stuff up there. They have. I don't know why you're bad mouthing them for that. I mean, they're not any. different
I'm
than
not bad
anybody else.
mouthing anyone. I said that they came here, they refused to come into the board meeting and said, I'm not answering questions in public. You know, that if people have questions, they can send them to them.
I'm sure that was advice from their legal counsel, what do you think, Dave? Probably, yeah.
No, it was-
that
it's
legal
not.
counsel, guys, you know?
I mean, I almost can't blame them because they can get blindsided with questions they can't answer and they look bad, you know? Or you make them say something that, you know, they were wrong about and it's on tape, you know? So there's very little reason they have to come on video on live stream and answer questions for us that they can't answer via email when they have time to put.
I mean,
So
listen,
I can't blame them.
if you wanna give business to people who are saying, keep paying me to keep fixing your roof and we'll call it a warranty.
What do
And
you
I
do
don't
to your
have to come in a
mechanic
board
then?
meeting
You
and
don't
answer
pay
any
him?
questions.
What do you do to your mechanic then? Do you not pay him?
Warranties are,
You only pay them when you fix your car.
it's a maintenance agreement, it's a warranty to a maintenance agreement, basically, you still have to pay for the services that are rendered, but you're paying for a warranty if anything is
It's not
extraordinarily.
supposed to leak. It's a 30-year warranty. If there's a
Gotcha.
leak,
It's
then
a
it's supposed to be
warranty
covered to
on
fix the
the
leak.
material.
That's how it works.
But we didn't, but we did not abide by our terms of the contract and maintain the schedule of service that we were supposed to.
Well, and that, and we also did, there's been quite a bit of work done up there. New
That we did not get approved by
units
them.
and new vents.
But there's
and new-
no.
And Megan,
no
understand,
leaks
this is a
around.
compromise, right?
If
They're
it's
coming
true,
to
I
us.
have to say, Megan, it is a little bit, they could walk away from the warranty.
Well, they essentially are because they're saying that they're not gonna cover anything.
Well,
They'll continue to let us know what's wrong so we can keep paying them to fix it. That's not a warranty.
If it's wrong, it needs to be fixed.
That's what your mechanical professional do for you.
And that, but they don't call it a warranty. That's not a warranty.
Well,
Megan,
tomatoes,
we can
tomato,
do
Yeah.
this, we can do this for, we can say, let's agree tonight, we use them and do it for this year coming up.
Well, we have to choose one of these options, so.
Okay, I understand that,
Yeah.
but we gotta get past
Yeah.
them being bad, them being good, them, if we're gonna use them, we'll agree it, we'll use it for another 12 months.
Well.
But we've gotta then.
So you wanna give them the money to get it back into warranty, and then after the 12 months, you don't wanna hold them to the warranty that we.
Yeah, no,
got into. Is that what you're
It's
saying?
basically once we clear this, we're kind of committed.
Is it 10 years?
I'm not sure what the rest of the term is.
it's a 30-year warranty.
Yeah, and how many years has it been?
That I don't-
I thought it's
That's what I was trying to see.
Although actually, let's see.
It's 30 from today, or
So it's
this.
30 from when they-
So
it's
what we're doing is,
16 years left.
by choosing one of these three options, we're then essentially repurchasing that warranty for another 16 years.
Oh,
because it goes out to-
okay,
it goes out to
okay. Again, that's
2035.
because I didn't read it, so.
It goes out to
So
2035.
we'll have it till 2035
Because
then,
we did
but,
say within our terms to keep it and enforce.
and,
But we're not, but none of that's gonna be in writing.
and I understand what her problem is with the language of the warranty, that it is very much favored toward the company.
Sure.
Right? And yes, they can charge, they could nickel and dime us for the rest of their, with.
Or we can
with
replace
the
ours
warranty
now
we have.
or replace it
But
then.
they'll repair leaks in them.
But they'll repair leaks in the meantime, and that's what they have done these past, few months out there, so.
I mean, they're not gonna be doing structural changes, it's leaks is our problem.
Well,
And that's the only thing we need.
Let's wrap this up.
If
I don't know
you
we need
wanna
to
go
get
in
you
that
into these other
direction,
things.
one of the things that he had mentioned in the conversation I had with him prior, it does say that that we're required to have them come out to do inspections every 10th month of the year or something like that. And that we have to pay them per hour to come out and do those inspections. He did say that he would waive the charges for that, but again, I would want him to put something in writing that says they're not holding us to paying them by the hour to do that, and I don't know that you're gonna get that.
Hear me on that,
I don't know that I
Dave?
want
Dave? So if we vote on this, you think that you could follow through with that prior to
I can,
facilitating our?
I can, and I agree, totally favors them, but already, given the history of the institution, they could say, you have no warranty, and I don't care what.
And we don't have
no
that.
warranty, like, nothing, you're out.
You avoided
We need
the
to buy
warranty by
back
not
in, and that's what
maintaining
we're doing.
the existing
Yeah.
roof. So you avoided the warranty, you don't have a warranty existing, they're offering to extend it through 2035 to finalize the 30 years of the warranty. They're gonna charge us for the services rendered if they have to fix above and beyond what is covered under the warranty. Am I correct in that statement?
Which is nothing. But
No, I just explained it in detail. You can go back just 30 seconds ago, and I just explained
I'm
it.
saying they're not
Catastrophic
covering,
loss.
they're gonna charge you to fix everything to keep it under,
What other
under
option do we have?
warranty.
That's correct.
I'm just,
We don't have a warranty,
I
that's the
know.
other option.
All right, let's
The
go
other-
with the snide here.
I would recommend, I guess, as it's so time for the committee, then why don't we recommend to move forward with option one?
well,
Thank you so much.
and hold on,
Thank
when you look at option one, just keep in mind, that's not a solid price. It says this price unless there's
Estimated
more than
market
that,
value.
and then there's this additional price per square foot.
Yeah, it's the cost of having a roof. Yep. I mean,
I'm saying, what I'm saying is you're not putting on that solid
the
price.
second option is 88,000.
It's a best estimate.
My friend's a plumber. This is a story off the thing, and he said there's some customers he really doesn't like working for because if he puts a toilet in their house, he now owns that toilet for the next 20 years. If she has any problem flushing it, that woman's gonna call her and demand they come in for free to do it. So this could be the same option we're putting ourselves into, that if we don't do this, if we, you know, if we decide we're just gonna take all these costs on our own, since that's what, you know,
1, 2, or 3.
yes.
1, 2, or 3, I would just.
No, I agree with you. I'm not gonna keep down my
Yeah,
story.
don't, yeah, let's,
I mean, it,
I'll go with 2, to get a little better. Like
A little better, nothing.
77 and 86,
88,
88.
72 and 88.
$11,000 to get.
72 and 88, so it's 16,000.
$16,000.
Should we do our straw poll for the,
16,000, no. Oh, the service here.
It's an open committee, so we can even do it.
I was gonna say, like, you guys, he just suggested 1, and now he's like, well, I suggest 2, but that's not what's supposed to happen right now. Your small committee is supposed to come to a compromise and let us know what you recommend, right?
Who's on the committee again?
It's those 3.
I'm the chair.
I mean, I don't know why you would pay to install extra coating to protect it from, to protect a roof that's supposed to be covered already. I think if you're gonna do any option, you do option 1, and then you hold them to the warranty.
All right, Mr. Rice, Mr. Spear, it's your call. Mr. Ronda's out. Make the call of your recommendation coming out of committee. Doesn't mean that JOC has to accept it at the meeting.
But this one, we're gonna vote on based on the recommendation, so.
Well, we can't vote on it today because it's not on the agenda.
Yes, it is. isn't it?
This was a discussion point.
To the next meeting, okay.
We did this on purpose.
The
We
agenda.
did this on purpose. We had some more questions. We're actually doing it right.
Okay, so you all have homework to do before next meeting.
I mean, I think if you're gonna do it, you do option 1, and I think you have David Kahn try to get them, or maybe Mike Herrera, someone try to get in writing with them. And they're,
Rice is saying 2.
you're saying it would be in writing, but you were just saying you didn't care if it was in writing, so I can't follow.
No, well, some of us do want it in writing, that's fine.
yeah,
I agree, if he said, and he's willing to come out once every 10 months and review it for free, then we want that. And that's worth his time.
But again, if you look at option 2, basically you're adding numbers 4 and 5, right? You're paying for number
Yeah, so
1,
you're
and
doing
you're
it,
adding numbers 4 and 5. So you're basically paying to put extra
But those-
coatings on so that there aren't issues that they would have to cover by warranty.
Because we have to pay them more.
so
You shouldn't have to pay the
If you
warranty,
look
you should
at-
cover it under
if you look at the
warranty.
But it's not, because it was something he did pay.
No, there's,
You need to understand
no,
that
it
we
should
share
cover,
fault
no,
in
but
this broken
if you
warranty.
pay for option 1, you're supposed to be getting it back under
Hold on,
warranty.
let's
every
go, let's go.
six
I will point this out, this install, this extra coping and caulking around the.
that's
scupper
worth
area,
$16,000 because that
drainage.
is,
What that does is because we have so many standing leaks, we're going to have standing water. They
yes,
could then come back to us later if they do have a leak and say, the reason you have a leak is because there's all these leaves clogging your scupper. And now with this extra coating, it's gonna protect it longer and give us sort of more protection.
Mhm.
And more protection for $16,000.
it's
They
worth
make
it.
it so we're not stuck paying for that, and not all of them are gonna be under warranty, because if they come back and deem that because there are all that standing waters there, because the leaves are clogging that scupper, then we are out of their spec, we haven't been performing our maintenance duties, so what this does is gives us that extra layer of protection.
And where's that protection?
In that
It's an
$16,000
extra-
difference.
It's an
No, no, no,
extra layer of membrane.
You're saying it gives us that extra protection, but there is no legal protection.
Already
I'm not saying legal protection, I'm
Number
saying
2,
physical,
I say number two.
Okay, the recommendation out of committee is number 2, but it won't be on the agenda for next.
correct.
Yes.
Do you want to go quickly through, do we need to get through these other things? Mike?
The only thing is number 4 is a board motion, so we may want to just go through that real quick, and the rest are informational purposes.
That's the trash,
For public service.
Oh,
yeah. Okay,
Any questions or discussion? They're coming in Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
It was an extra day that we added.
right now, they're only coming in twice a week, to empty the dumpsters.
The question is which,
We got too much trash for that, so there's an additional charge, $1,000.
$92 a month.
That's fine.
If we're making more trash,
So that
we
postage
get
is
more
only.
pickup.
No, they just gotta come more frequently.
Yeah.
Same amount of trash, but they can pick it all up, and it doesn't stack up.
It was
It's not-
increased.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, well, the
was an increase in
follow-up
all the
on the
lunches.
full report from Site
And
Logic
people
would have been if they sent us the
We're
LTFM,
students as much
and I know the administration has tried
think
getting
that's
it from them multiple times, I've tried contacting them multiple times, and they haven't, first, they haven't sent us the report.
Okay, and then the fire extinguisher company is coming out to do their inspection of fire hydrant or fire extinguishers, because that needs to be done. And snow removal, that's not gonna be on the agenda, but we should probably talk about that real quick.
So I did reach out to the three sending schools facilities directors, and they have sent in information to do. One was an RFP, another one was just kind of like and go around with some vendors and show them what it is. I have not forwarded all that information out yet, so I'll get that out to the committee, I guess.
Next month.
Yeah, well, I
Hopefully it
guess,
won't
what-
Well, yeah,
so I guess what I need to know is like, if we're going to start trying to get that, do you want them to come out and do the front of the building, the side of the building? 'Cause
well,
they-
what does our current, where are we lacking?
Where-
That was the real question. We said we only have three
If it
people.
snows,
We're-
nobody's gonna shovel it, that's where we are.
Now we only have two people, and even when we had three people, if there's a decent sized snow, they couldn't keep up.
Well, the school's gonna be closed if it's a decent amount of
I mean, we were
stuff.
having,
So it's a matter of
Dennis was out
time that
on
it takes to
something
get it done, right?
Yeah.
I was
Right?
wondering, like, who's
Teresa,
pushing
yeah,
the
this
plow
year.
around? I can see Jeff push the plow around.
Okay,
But,
I know Jeff wasn't sure.
so if the
yeah,
school's
but
closed, you're gonna have more time to
Jeff
do
wasn't
it.
supposed to.
Right,
be-
neither was Dennis.
Right, so now we're in a position where we need these services, because internally, we don't even have the support structure for anybody who could wing it, which shouldn't be right anyway.
So
So,
David, is it something that we could put a motion as an emergency since it's winter time? Can we add that motion to go out for bid on that?
Motion, I mean.
I-
That's
don't
an
know.
RFP.
We need a motion to go out for bid.
I thought we were already putting it out to bid.
Yeah, we can do information gathering without board action.
Okay,
Yeah,
Let's do that.
so we'll do that, and
so
then,
what if it snows in the meantime? Can we pass a
You can always come
mandatory
out.
budget for
I can help.
services?
I-
We have a plan,
I'll come
right?
out and
Because
drive.
we need to approve money ahead of time,
Well,
we're
yeah,
gonna
but,
spend it.
Or
right, but I mean, this sort of thing happens periodically, so executive director or acting executive director, if it's an emergency, they have the discretion.
I got my own.
That doesn't mean they'll bring it to the day after work, here's what I had to do, and you'll ratify it or yell
You should get somebody on the short list, just in case, to say, hey, this is a big one, but we need to guarantee it's done so our kids can get here. If it happens the next month.
but even a small one now, being short-staffed as we
Ice on
are,
the
is
sidewalks.
ice on the sidewalks is gonna be tough.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll go right inside and there won't be much walking up and down the sidewalk, but.
Yeah.
And
Between
this
the
is parking
buildings,
lots too, 'cause we
between the
get
buildings
staff
plus the
all
parking
over.
lots, if they're moving back and forth, that's a lot.
Okay.
We got 10 minutes to get through.
Well, you'll be working with the next board on that, but you'll need to get, you guys are pretty, sounds like you guys need to do the full package.
Okay, move into finance.
Okay, so for finance, I just wanted to let you know, we did submit the equipment grant, the matching grant was submitted. We'll be working on submitting the competitive grant that's due at the end of November. There's a board motion for Key Business Solutions to replace the current postage machine that we have. It's a 63-month contract. And then for informational, I've been meeting with all the teachers and staff, and budget meetings should be wrapping up. Everybody should have their budget put in to me by tomorrow. Food service went through a procurement audit at the beginning of November, so that was submitted. And then the audit was complete. The financials were just sent over to me. I have to review them before they're finalized. And Sherry Free will be out at December's finance committee meeting to give a presentation. Tracy's going to give an update on ESS transitions.
Out on the 10th of November, and one person from our current substitute list is already had their paperwork done. 3 people are in the process of doing their paperwork. One person hasn't met with them yet, but is expected to, and they are ready to go live on December 6th.
What was December 6th? What are they gonna do?
Switch over to ESS for substitutes for the teachers.
Okay.
And that increases our pool, I guess, for.
So fingers.
Okay,
And then does anybody have any questions on the bills or the financials?
Your report. Just go over the punch list of the things you talked about
Today- For today?
just now.
Equipment grants, competitive equipment grant.
Individual budget meetings wrapping up.
Do we have an update on the billing, the billing item that we pulled last time? Are we putting that back in? Has it been solved?
Why, we'll be discussing that.
Just making sure.
It was like the third or fourth thing down.
The audit, food service went through procurement audit.
No.
The audit for the financials were reviewed. Sherry Free will be coming out in December. And then ESS transfer.
I think of it,
Okay.
it was early on and I'm like, oh, I should ask that question.
We'll bring it up in an executive meeting.
In the 7
Okay.
No questions?
The only other point of reference, just so when everyone realizes it, I've been going over the JOC general fund expenditure list. I had a good conversation with Teresa before this afternoon about reorganizing or reterming some of the line items. And just to give you an example, we have a superintendent and we have salary. We don't have a superintendent. We need to change that to executive director. And there's other issues in here.
Record or the director?
So according to the PDH chart of accounts, if it's a 2360, it is superintendent / executive director. So I will clean up and then we
Yeah,
can talk
we
about.
talked about that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
so
just
there
wanted to
are
bring it
some
up.
account codes that could use to be cleaned up and their names kind of a little clearer on. So next week when Jennifer's in, we'll start working on that.
It'll provide better, a quicker review. You understand exactly what it's all about. I just think it makes it easier for the reader.
You want color coded,
Oh, geez.
You know, I could actually focus.
I actually remember.
we won't give her.
It wasn't really that important, like that was important, but 63 months? 5 years and 3 months?
5 years.
That's
What is
okay.
that?
I don't know, that's what it was, 63 months.
This seems so strange. But yeah, that was what it was. The 3 month thing got me. It just
Yeah.
made me like,
6
Yeah.
months at $46.56 and 57 months at $145.43.
We'll kick you out.
okay.
Maybe the numbers rounded easier. I don't know how 63 rounds anywhere. It's an odd number.
It is, right? Like, this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we ready then?
Okay, we're done with finance. We're caught up.
No, program 640.
That's going to show the screen.
We're at 646.
Okay.
You're good, Mike.
55.
Program subcommittee.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to go over some exercise science updates. Everyone should have a packet. We had our second meeting on November 1st. We have a lot of community support, which we're very happy. Not only our occupational advisory committees, but Bucks County Department of Workforce and Economic Development, St. Luke's, Career Link, and On the Move Physical Therapy all wrote wonderful letters of support, which you have in your packet. On November 10th, we met with Lehigh Valley Health Network representatives. That was put in through our contacts at Palisades, who has a very good relationship with them. We appreciate that. Right now, we have a website that we put together. If the JOC decides to move forward and make this a program, it's similar to all of our different programs, pictures, objectives. It goes over our units of studies, our industry salary ranges that we got from the Career Link, career opportunities. This is draft only, the certifications. And we're also, if you take a look at the OAC members, I'll get final approval before we publish this, but Upper Bucks, we're always very lucky and thankful for the partnerships, the community partnerships. It's not a true program. Many people have come in and contributed and we thank them very much. Does anyone have any questions regarding that? We also have a course description that we put together. I met with the assistant superintendents from all 3 school districts. They mentioned having this program approved in December so they could publish it and market it as a timeline. And so we have a lot of this ready. If we get the go-ahead, I believe we've done a very good job of presenting it, and it's ready to go and you deem appropriate.
I just have a quick question, since I've never been here since you've approved the new program. Is this something that you typically take to the sending districts, finance committees, and do you need a cost estimate and all that before those approvals take place?
You're really overcomplicating this,
Or
Chris.
is it just the JOC says yes and then it's a go?
You obviously still have to have the sending districts approve the budget.
Correct.
And I'm
It's gonna
assuming
have
that there'll
added
be costs with this new program in the budget. So it's conceivable that the sending districts could say no on the budget, and then it doesn't go. So that's what the process.
So if we want to have this on in our next meeting in December, if you wanted the approval, and that's what the sending assistant superintendents would like to see for their, enrollment, I guess, then, we would have to, I guess, act quickly. And do we have any of those cost estimates?
Program's budget for this particular program.
Yes, we have broad numbers, and we also have a lot of, when we meet with the district representatives, everyone mentioned that there's high interest in that. So we've done that in the past where we changed the program and went out and recruited as late as April, right? We don't want to do that.
No,
So
I
one of the
understand,
things
yeah.
as part of the comprehensive plan that we're looking at is to come up with protocols for starting new programs. So in other words, the timeline, all the different steps, we're also working that at the same time.
But right now, what are we looking at this program's gonna add to our annual budget?
Based on,
I think we've gone through over these numbers.
Yes.
Close to over $250,000, like 300,000.
So that was like very preliminary. I have not gotten all the final details of all the different equipment and stuff that would go in there. And we were just learning what the requirements are for starting, which I think is a master's. So like, we are not to that point yet.
So,
And we
so wait,
also
are you
have-
saying the teacher that we're gonna need to hire is gonna have to have a master's? Is that where you're going with that?
That is my
And
understanding.
what is those, that according on our chart, where's that pay range? What's that for one teacher? Top range,
plus benefits.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
which is what, 108 plus benefits,
So that's one of the top.
right?
No, it's top.
Yeah.
They're saying 70 plus P's and
If
benefits.
there was somewhere in the schedule,
Yeah,
masters,
it'd probably be like
yes, it's.
150. I mean, by the time you put all the
Okay.
benefits in.
But that's just a staff member, that's not,
That
that's
is-
one staff
that
member,
is correct.
and that is not counting users, and that's not counting any materials. as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Saying
Hardware.
For 150 in.
It is.
Yeah, that's with teasers, but then that's not including like what else we need to buy.
No, and a lot of that could be coming in through grants, through partnerships.
Right, because
So,
didn't you say Lehigh Valley Health Network is willing to be a partner with us and contribute some funding for it?
Well, not just, we're asking them for donations, all of our different groups of partners, we always seek for them to donate things.
so I guess the reason I asked this question is that I'd like to see this move forward, and I'd like to see it move forward in a timely manner, so, all of our sending districts can start getting kids enrolled as soon as that period starts. So in order for us to get this done by December, we sort of need to give a heads up to our sending districts that there may be this cost. So that might be something that would be really helpful as soon, even if you can give us an estimate to share with
If you
us.
think it's gonna have an abnormal change to our budget, we should know.
So, I mean, Mike, we have to work through that because I need those numbers to do the budget. So that is something that we're gonna have to sit down and finish nailing out in depth.
Even the sending partners, they may give us hardware that we might need. So we don't otherwise have to buy it, those sorts of things.
It would be startup costs, basically.
Yeah, Right.
No, like I said, I'd like to see this move forward. I'd like to see it move forward as quickly as we can. So, you know, if you can get us those numbers as soon as you can, I think we can start really.
We'll get
having
those
some
numbers
serious
and
That would be the
conversations.
direction. I mean, you're working on a budget.
Right,
You wanna have it
right, I
ready.
mean, we
Yeah.
kind of had preliminary numbers, but that was like getting desks and chairs, but that was based on last year's cost, so there is, I'm going to assume higher costs this year just because of supply and demand. And then like what textbooks they're gonna need, what that cost is gonna be, so there is still some research to really make it finalized. We have a ballpark, like, we know that it's usually between $5,000 and $6,000 for textbook, but we really need to see what those actual costs are gonna be.
And we want to be able to give ourselves enough time that our sending districts can advertise for this program and let everybody know it's out there before selection.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna allow enough time to get some reasonable numbers. And I don't think we can have that by the middle of December.
We'll have that by December.
We need it by December, because I need to be able to
Okay.
start presenting
Well, then.
budgets.
Oh, let's stop
Yeah.
rushing you then. You guys are already on it. My bad.
So when we get new board members, I'm looking over at you, Chuck. When we get new board members, we're gonna need to make sure we get all the new board members brought up to speed in our districts and try to see what we can do to move this forward. But, you know, once you share the numbers, we'll have to share it with our new board members then too. So,
I have a question. So this is a 4-year program, is that what it says? Program?
Yes,
Okay. The ninth graders will be able to come to this program.
yes.
Okay. I was just curious about that.
I think,
So will Palisade students be at a disadvantage for coming, or will they'll miss the first year? So how will that work?
oh, I thought you were gonna start, lobbying your board members to send ninth graders over.
I would love to send ninth graders here. My son goes here.
Thank you we appreciate you.
He loves it here, and he gets the benefit of all 4 years, which is wonderful. So I was just wondering, like, how will that work for Palisade students? I guess I'll miss that first
that's
year.
up to Palisade,
What?
I think that's up to Palisade.
Right, I know it is. I'm just curious.
So all of our programs accommodate kids who
Thank
switch
you.
programs year 2, year 3, and, you know, they make it work and they try to customize the program for each of those kids. And so, you know, the current circumstances, they'd be customizing a 3-year program for those kids unless you guys can decide, hey, let's send them for 4 years, and then that would.
Yeah, I was just curious how it worked. I think it's a fair question to find out how it worked for Palisade. It looks like an exciting new program. So
Thank
that's
you,
wonderful.
appreciate it.
The programs here historically has been only 3-year programs.
Okay, thank you.
To get the ninth graders here, it's gonna change the curriculum. The way it's presented. Hopefully it's an improvement, you know, it's an
Yeah.
additional stuff.
Our curriculum, or we have 3-year programs?
We have career tech ed is competency based, and we allow the students to work at individual rates. So when they come in, whether it's 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year, we prepare all of the students to the best possible. You're completer after, 2 years. But
But you can still take the not be after 3 or 4 years.
after 2 years.
After 2, oh, okay.
Okay,
We wrap up the subcommittee.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
That's
that was
well
easy.
done. I might have to talk to you more about that, but I can do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
And then the baking and culinary, there's a motion that's on the agenda tonight. UBCTS is very proud of our culinary and baking programs. Students are placed in these programs based on their career interests and space availability, and they'll follow and progress through the program of study. And the motion is saying that there's direct the baking and culinary programs to collaborate using cross-curricular co-teaching models. The baking instructor will provide leadership direction and instruction on the baking elements, and while the culinary will also do the same, and specifically focus through exposure on both in year 1. So I just wanted to state that that's going to be a motion. Any questions or comments?
I'm just gonna say that I think this is not something that JRC should be doing, being specific as to what goes in the curriculum.
We're changing the class though.
We're not changing it.
You are telling the administration what to do specifically.
That's what we do.
No, it's not what we do. We give them policy, we give them direction, and they come up with the process, and we approve or disapprove it.
Mike, are you supportive of this and do you think this is the best direction for those programs?
Ooh, that's not-
Ooh, that's a.
Yeah, I knew that as soon as you said it. My big fit, man. My concern is, I think it's new and much like Jim has an anticipation, or not anticipation, but an anxiety towards this and the way that it's gonna play out. I think all of us are kind of concerned the way it's gonna play out. I think we all have faith that once we get over the rough road, I think we're all gonna realize that this is probably the best course of action. It's the most efficient course of action. Both teachers need to work with each other as students have to work with, when you're not students anymore, you need to work with other people in the real world. You need to work with the bakery lead if you're the head chef and vice versa. And I think it sets a really great example for our students to see these two teachers flow together and be able to run a great curriculum together. It shows how much admiration each of them could have for one another. The students need to see that that's how it works. One person doesn't do everything. I've said all this because if this gets implemented, I firmly believe, from my personal perspective as one JOC member, there needs to be some sort of oversight above them for the first year or two, watching them to make sure that the flow is there. Sometimes not all personalities get the other personality, and sometimes, I just want to make sure that our institution is watching to make sure that hopefully the relationship grows, and it's a great class, which would be ideal for everyone.
UBC Test has a wonderful spirit of collaboration. Mrs. Kukas is in the audience. We had a culinary fair that the chamber put on. So a lot of our restaurant and bakeries were desperate for workers. We brought them in. We had 7 new OAC members, but we expanded it to the service industry. And Mrs. Kukas met with her students and said, hey, this is a wonderful opportunity to go in. And so we do have those clusters. Mrs. K, you're the cluster chair. And so the collaborative, the co-teaching model is something that we'll promote, and it's, that spirit of collaboration.
So just to be clear, all of this is not in any way changing any of the curriculum whatsoever. They have baking has culinary tasks within, they have culinary tasks within the baking program and vice versa. And they actually both get 3 credits to the opposite when they graduate. And so this is not in any way changing what the kids are learning. All this is doing is we have a very talented baking teacher and we have a talented culinary teacher. And all this is doing is allowing the kids in both programs to get exposure from both of them and then to collaborate together, because when you have a baking expert teaching the baking, you're gonna learn, things a little bit differently. I mean, the way that they teach, the way that you do, I mean, they talk about all the time how different baking and culinary are and how different the approaches are and how different the teaching
So
strategies
you
are.
kind of streamline the overlap, basically, and that's what we want to do. We want them to spend more time learning stuff, not double learning the stuff that they have to learn twice.
Right, so they were both teaching that anyway, but having them learn some of those baking skills that they're already learning from the baking teacher and having them learn some of those culinary
Yes.
skills they were already learning from the culinary teacher allows them to collaborate and get exposure to both. And I think what kind of started off, when we talked about how when Mike Carrera does the intake forms from all of our kids, most of them, a majority of them, don't know which program they want. They want baking and culinary, and they don't really know what the difference is. And so this gives them that exposure to both programs, both teachers, both skill sets, the way both things are done in year 1 to help guide them. But they still, come in under one or the other, and they can switch by year 2 if that experience guides them in one direction or the other.
I do also think students do deserve that flexibility, like, and this, the way we offer this and the way that we're planning to offer it will grant them all that opportunity to not feel the pressure the first year to make that decision. Because you might decide to hate bacon and you really want to cook, or vice versa. And I think that, this product's really gonna embrace that.
I wanted to mention too, that this was born from last year's, discussions we were having about merging the baking and culinary program. And how, we were getting a lot of pushback from both sides, saying that just one culinary program with that little baking element wasn't enough for kids, that they really still, many people still wanted that full baking. So this allows us to preserve the full baking and the full culinary, but again, give these kids a little bit more exposure, and not even necessarily more exposure, but the baking expert teacher will be the one instructing the overlapping skills that more pertain to baking, where the culinary will show
That's
up.
logical.
Yeah, it's logical,
Right.
and that's a great statement there.
And we have
That's what I do.
and we even have in our ag program a lot of collaboration even between those two programs. I think it really benefits kids when, we are able to take those talents, and now you've got them essentially having the impact on twice as many kids, right?
And I'll let's wrap this up. We're gonna let the committee get through in some second session. Let's just make this statement. The ag program is the way it is. They collaborate together. The JOC was not involved in telling them what to do. The administration did that. I think we're fine letting the administration do it. I don't think this motion is necessary, but that's not me. So let's move along.
Well, and keep in mind, the administration brought this to us to begin with, which I think
Yeah.
was Chris's point.
And
So
we
this
said
was,
no.
this is where we came.
And we said no.
That
So we
makes
changed
sense.
This is kind of a compromise.
Okay, let's go. Next.
So we're gonna move into the policies. Last month's meeting, the board directed us to take a look at our policies to ensure that we are protecting our students to the maximum extent possible. The policy 249, bullying and cyberbullying, was changed to include indoor outside of school setting. And instead of the word shall, it's changed instead of may on that area. So the policies that are going to go to, I'm sorry,
These are second.
second reading
Yep.
is going to be student rights and responsibilities, surveys, student assistance program, electronic devices, and the bullying and cyberbullying. That's what they're included for public comment on tonight's agenda.
Can you give me the numbers of those? Sorry, I'm trying to follow along here and
Yes. 235,
Okay.
235-1, 236, 237, and 249. First reading policies, which we discussed at committee last month, include assignment to programs, student discipline, weapons, and terroristic threats. The policies through committee is reporting student progress, student records, student expression, distribution of posting of materials, and dress and grooming. So I know we went over 3 blocks of policies. Is there any questions, comments, or concerns on any of those?
No language was added to the dress code about masking or nothing like that.
No, so I took the, if you look on the screen, there's no Okay, hearing none, then we will move forward with these policies.
Well, that was easy.
Okay. Almost caught up.
Was it an executive?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we go to the bathroom, get something. Be quick. If I want, not so much.
And we are recording. Okay, welcome everyone to this evening's November 18th regular board meeting of the Outer Bucks JOC. We will start the meeting with the salute to the flag.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Darwell? Here. Ms. Candace Clemens? Here. Mr. Spear?
Here.
Mr. Cormack?
Here.
Mr.
Here.
Mr. Juliak? Here. Monowitz?
Present for my last meeting.
Mr. Ott?
Here.
Mr. Rice?
I'm here.
Okay. Do we have?
Well, that's, we have people on.
Okay, so we have this opportunity for public comments on agenda items. If you would please state your name and district of residence, I guess. So, we'll try to limit this to 3 minutes per, please. That being said, we have public comment on agenda items. I don't see anybody. Anybody see anybody?
I'm not seeing anything in the chat.
Okay. Vice Chance? Okay, then we'll move on. We'll just announce that we did have an executive session prior to this meeting and also one on November 9th. One on 9th was for personnel and legal matters, and the one this evening was for personnel and legal matters. And security, that's right. Next would be administrative reports. We have a student of the month.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Hollowell. It's my honor to present Joanne Benzel as the UPCTS Student of the Month for November. Joanna, a Penridge senior in the dental program, has been named the Student of the Month. We're very proud of her. Joanna works at the Sellerville Family Dental as a dental sterilization assistant through our cooperative education program, which began to her junior year. Hard work. Joanna's accomplishments include first honors and induction into the National Technical Honor Society. She's also a member of HOSA, Future Health Care Professionals, and the Rotary Club of Penridge and Perkasie. This past July, she sat for the Dental Assisting National Board's Radiation Health and Safety exam and is now radiology certified. Joanna has also earned the OSHA 10-hour certification and is first aid CPR certified. He participates in the Bucks County Community College in-school youth program and earns certificates in Narcan, AED, diversity, and leadership, among others. Upon graduation, Joanna plans to attend Montgomery County Community College for their dental hygiene program and pursue a career as an orthodontist. Joanna, I know you're here tonight on behalf of the entire JOC and administration. Congratulations. Joanna, before we ask if you, I know Mrs. Dios is on, very proud of you. Mrs. Dios, would you like to add anything?
Sure. Joanna has been in my program since her freshman year. She's an outstanding student, works hard, very respectful. She's just a great student to have in class. I have no doubt that she will go far in her career. She was out on co-op all last year during a pandemic, and she thrived. So, I mean, she's just a great student overall. So,
Joanna, would you like to say some words?
I'm grateful. It's exciting to be a student of the month. I'm very happy with where I'm at, and I'm excited to get on with hygiene and then possibly in the future orthodontics.
That's great. Does any of the JOC members have any questions for Joanna?
No, but congratulations.
Okay, congratulations.
I would encourage the
Congratulations.
orthodontics. I think it's like printing money.
That's true.
Okay, so thank you very much, Joanna, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so continuing to the Assistant Director's report, we're going to start off with donations. And the first donation, the picture says 1,000 words. Berkey's donated $5,000 to the diesel program. More importantly, Mr. Lutowski, who's a long-term supporter, OAC member, it was donated in his name. And in that picture, you have Mr. Yerkes, longtime diesel instructor, Mr. Masters, the new instructor, Mrs. Reese, who's been instrumental in creating these partnerships with our community members. And not in the picture is Mrs. Walk. So it's sort of the, a proud tradition and passing that torch off to the next generation per se. So Mr. Lutowski, the passion that he has for training and working with Upper Bucks County Tech School over a number of years, the donations is immense, and we're very appreciative of him and Bergey's for their contributions to our school. The second donation is, we have 100 pairs of brand new Dickie pants and jeans and assorted various sizes. The person in true giving wanted to remain anonymous, but we appreciate her donating those pants for our students that they'll benefit from. Our last donation is from Cooper Mechanical. Again, they're donating a 2004 Chevy Cruze. The body's in great, 2014, thank you. The body's in great condition. Mr. Rudden went out and reviewed it and believes it would be a great addition to our program. And you're saying, well, Cooper Mechanical's not an auto collision, but again, it's just the relationships that we develop in other aspects and the community giving back.
So if the body's in great shape, do we have to crash it first for the kids to learn how to?
I know.
I'll volunteer.
I was gonna say, I know you'll volunteer for that one.
Your solicitor says no.
The mechatronics program builds machines that goes and puts dents in it.
Moving on in my report, I had the privilege and honor of presenting at the Integrated Learning Conference. There was 250 participants throughout the state talking about our virtual program using social media to promote our school to work program. It was well received, and there's it's the newsletter, the presentation's on there if you wanted to take a look at it. But as you know, we do great things to help students. It's a team approach. That went very well. This month, we had our comprehensive plan. We worked with the General Advisory Committee and the Steering Committee to begin that process. Chad Evans helped through the IU. With regret, Mrs. Reese, we acknowledge her tireless dedication to helping students. I know Mr. Cormack, Mr. Hollowell, was a very special day. He was difficult because she gave 110% or such a thing to Upper Bucks. We appreciate her efforts, very humble, and wanted to be about the students right until the last minute. Learning never ends. This month, we've had a lot of professional development for our staff. The School to Work program, which we presented on, there was always a challenge. We have COVID. How do we support our students on the workplace? The action was we invited parents, the mentors on the work site to make sure that we're providing a safe environment for them. The results are, and again, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but when you go through, and this is a best practice, a number of schools reach out to us, just take a look at the pictures of the mentors, of the parents, how proud they are of these placements. And this goes back this year and last year during the pandemic, and it goes on and on and on. And I want to be brief, but this is what we're about. This is the result of your efforts of creating a great environment for all. And it'll just keep going and going, and this is not all of them until we get to the bottom. And we wanted to thank Mrs. Reach for her years of service in putting that together.
And can you just clarify for anyone that she's retired?
Yes.
Just in case.
Yes, okay.
We have some people who might be like, what happened?
And we're working very closely with Bucks County Community College to increase our partnerships. Skills USA today had a leadership conference. That's from today. Our word of the month was cooperation. Our students were acknowledged by their instructors for that. Our open house was very well attended on November 4th, getting ready for our new applications process. Mrs. Dios, again, we have very good at core learning, but we're also good at being innovative. Mrs. Dios had someone from Plan Mecca come in, showcasing the latest technology to make sure our students are prepared for technology of the future going into the workplace. We have our placements for this month on the newsletter. Bucks County Community College came in and did a baking demonstration. We're very happy with that. And we also had the, working with the Bucks County Chamber of Commerce, we provided 65 fantastic charcuterie boxes for them. And that's my report. I thank you for listening.
Any questions for Mike or additions?
I think that's great. Those charcuterie boxes, does our program, do they provide them for a fee, of course, like, are they for resale to the public for events like that?
Yes, they do.
And they would contact?
The culinary department, or if you contact Mrs. Nice or myself, we'll get you in contact.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll move into the subcommittee reports. We'll start with facility. Report on what we did today.
Would you like me to do it? I can. So we had a discussion today about options for roof repairs, and we'll be bringing a motion to next month's meeting. We had also discussed adding one day's trash pickup per week, since we're providing extra lunches and creating more trash. That will be on the agenda tonight. And what else? Sorry, I didn't take notes during the snow removal. Yes, we are going to be looking for bids for snow removal. So if anybody out there in the public wants to contact someone in the office, I will do that. I believe that's it for facilities.
Anything to add? Question? Next up is the finance committee.
So tonight, we talked about we submitted the equipment grant for the matching grant. We're working on the competitive equipment grant that'll be due by the end of November. We have a motion on the agenda for a postage machine for a 63-month contract with Key Business Solutions. Individual teacher meetings are wrapping up. I think I've met with all of the teachers and administrators. Food service went through a procurement audit at the beginning of November. Everything was submitted. We're waiting to hear back from that. The audit was completed. The financials are going to be reviewed. Sherry Free will be out at December's finance meeting to give an overview. Tracy has an update on the ESS contract. So there were a few employees that came in. Well, one person actually came in, right?
One filled out all the paperwork, rigor in the process of finishing. One didn't come yet, but will be there soon. And the go live date for ESS for future subs is December 6th.
And then Mr. Cormack and I had a discussion earlier about updating descriptions for account codes on the financial pages, so they will be looked at and updated for the next board meeting.
Questions? Additions? We did have a program committee meeting. Policy first.
Okay. So the policy meeting, we went over policies 235, 235-1, 236, 237, and 249, which are included on the agenda for tonight for second reading. We did make changes to the bullying and harassment one to ensure we're following to the fullest extent possible. And they are included for public comment. First reading, which came out of committee last month, is policies 206, 218, 218-1, and 218-2. They were recommended to go to second reading. And during committee tonight was policies 212, 216, 220, and 221. The recommendation is to add them to the agenda next month for first reading.
Okay. Additions or corrections, questions? Okay, now we can move into the program.
Okay, program, we had an exercise science update. Our second meeting was on November 1st. We received letters of support. We're very thankful from Bucks County Department of Workforce and Economic Development, St. Luke's, PA Career Link, and On the Move Physical Therapy. We also met with Lehigh Valley Health Network, which was a great opportunity to ensure that we're expanding and getting as many resources as possible. We put together a website when the program becomes approved, which will talk about the objectives of the program, the units of study, salary ranges, career opportunities, certifications. Again, this is a draft. And as you can see from our OAC participation, we have a world-class support with the different program. Next month, I'll bring more specific numbers back to the committee, and we're also looking to enter it into the CAT system for approval. We also looked at and discussed our baking and culinary and the motion which is included on the agenda for tonight. That's my report for program.
Any questions or additions? Okay, that takes care of the subcommittee reports, yes? Yes. So we'll move into the consent calendar, the action part of the meeting. We'll need a motion to approve the consent calendar, which includes the October minutes, the meetings of the minutes of the November 5th special meeting, October financial reports, and the November bills payables and personnel recommendations.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
And you guys.
Got it.
Questions, comments on those items? Hearing none. call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Do we have any abstentions? Motion passes 9-0. Next up, we need a motion to approve revised policies 235, 235.1, 236, 237, and 249 as distributed in October and recommended by the policy committee. This is a second reading on these policies, and we'll put them in effect.
So moved.
I'll second it.
I'm sorry. David Rice.
David.
Right. Comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Any objections? Motion passes 9-0. Next up, we need a motion to approve following new occupational advisory committee members.
So moved.
I'll second.
Marlis,
I'll second it.
Mr. Rice. Who are those members?
There was the attachment, I'll pull it up, and we also went through the JOC, and the GAC, excuse me, just give me a second.
Christina Harmonsa from CNC Confections. Harmona, for the baking and pastry arts program. Elaine Brick from the Washington House in Sellersville Theater for the baking and pastry arts program. Ann Stone with Craft Built Manufacturing, Construction. Lee Frank, Craft Built Manufacturing, Construction. Tim Johnson, Indian Creek Electric, Electric Technology. Mark Benson, Universal Electric Services, Academy Director, Academy Director and Career Development for Electrical Technology. Dan Spinelli, Marlin Graphics for Graphics Communications. Donna Betham Print Group, Graphic Communications. Chuck Kohler, Sellersville Printing, Graphic Communications. And Tim McNabb, IT Landis, HVAC and plumbing program.
Any other questions? We have a motion second, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes 9-0. Next up is the motion to approve the postage meter equipment and service agreement with Key Business Solutions for 63 months.
So moved.
I will second that.
Discussion.
This is really printing money.
Literally.
I just want to voice my discontent for the third month there, 63 months. It gets to me. And I don't know why it's 63 months, but for some reason, that extra 3 months over 5 years gets to me. So I'm going to vote yes, but.
Okay, anybody else?
They do that with car leases too. It's never like, anymore, it's never like 48 months. It'll be like, you know.
You can't get 6% anymore, but if we could tack on an extra 3% or three months payment.
I'm sure.
Okay, any pertinent questions yet?
No.
All those in favor of the motion, say
Aye.
aye. Those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes 9-0. We need a motion to approve the amended Republic Services Agreement to increase the number of pickups per week from 2 to 3 on the 8-yard container.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
So we believe as the administration, this is necessary, correct? It's worth $92 a month to get the trash out of here soon.
I have heard rumors that we've had a bear get into our.
And we're
dumpster.
making sure that the timing makes sense, that it's not like, we talked about there being some discrepancy with timing, like, we don't want them picking it up one night and then they're picking it up like Friday evening and then they're picking it up Monday morning, that doesn't really make any sense.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay.
Makes sense.
Any other questions? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay.
Aye. No.
No nay. No nay.
Any abstentions?
Aye.
Okay. As such, that motion passed 9-0. Number 12, we need a motion to direct the instructors of the baking and culinary programs to collaborate using cross-curricular and co-teaching models, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll make a motion.
I will second.
Questions or comments? Hearing none.
Seems micromanaged. Seems funny that we're directing instructors.
We did have that discussion in the committee before, yeah, I know. So, but, yeah, it's probably something to bring up to the general meeting too. There is some discussion on that, but, you know, I had made the comment during the committee that this was born out of, last year, we had a discussion possibly merging the two programs. This sort of works out to be a compromise, but also works to expand the kids' horizons, so.
Everyone make beef Wellington.
Yeah. And croissant. Any other questions, comments? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Number 13, we need a motion to approve the engagement letter with Eckert Siemens as special counsel for employment matters at an hourly rate of $250 an hour.
So moved.
A second.
Mr. Morris, Mr. Rice. Any question, comment? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion passes. Well, that takes care of the action items. At this point, we would have recognition comments from audience on general matters. We have a list. And first up is Alex. Alex, there you go, sorry. We want to, oh, you do?
Just within range of the mic, you can stand anywhere you like. but
You're
just a mic.
You're our first public, you don't have to stand right next to me. You don't have to stand
Can I drop the mic when I'm done?
How about we bring the podium in? You wanna do that? That's not a bad idea.
Wanna do?
Don't worry about it.
As long as I can be heard from here.
Yeah, they can hear us. Right here, so yeah, you're fine.
Excellent. Good evening. My name is Alex Stadio, and I'm a Penridge taxpayer, parent of a UBCTS student, and a former employee of UBCTS. For 9.5 years, I worked here at UBCTS. I was an instructional facilitator in several shops, and from October of 2015 to June of 2018, I also worked as the long-term substitute teacher in the landscape technology and plant technology shop. I loved my job. I loved my classes. I loved this school, and I still do. I planned on retiring from this school. However, on February 2nd, 2021, I left. Why? Because of the environment of the school. From the time frame of September 2018 until the time I left, the environment moved from being relatively kind and peaceful to a toxic environment that was heavy with bullying, harassment, and abuse. Over the last 3 years, I witnessed a number of staff members enduring a variety of forms of abuse and harassment. Throughout those 3 years, over half the population of the staff has left. They each left claiming their own reasons. Perhaps they retired or got a better paying job. Or as I said, I needed health insurance. The job I left for actually didn't have health insurance. Here's the truth. We left because we couldn't do it anymore. We all left because of the toxic environment of the school. People were abused, bullied, harassed, belittled. In this toxic environment, certain teachers were clearly favored over others by being allowed to get away with things without reprimand, while other groups of teachers were reprimanded for the same or lesser actions. Teachers were given directives to perform certain duties and then were later reprimanded for doing exactly what they had been asked to do in the first place without communication to change their actions. In the fall of 2019, instructional facilitators arrived at the start of the school year to find out that after years of service in certain classrooms, they had been changed to brand new classrooms. Did this happen to all the facilitators? No, just a few. There was no explanation as to why this was done other than to give some of us a better understanding of other classrooms. But not all facilitators were changed, just 3. Through the course of conversations with someone close to the administrator making this decision, it has come to light that this action had nothing to do with having some facilitators learning more about other classrooms. This action was the result of an administrator's anger towards one of the facilitators and his form of revenge against that person. In addition, this action was also done to make life hard for certain unfavored teachers. I sat in a meeting with the same administrator who told a group of facilitators that we were owned from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. In the same meeting, we were told that this person wanted to take down the union. This type of administrative philosophy is partly what led to this debilitating and toxic school environment. I have a question for all of you. What is the hardest thing you've had to do at your job? For me, it is simple: to endure this toxic environment, to walk into this building every day and be afraid, to watch multiple people I care about, respect, and appreciate slowly crawl into a hole of depression, fear, and anxiety because they are being bullied on a day-to-day basis, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. There is and was no protection from the targeting, systemic bullying, and harassment once you're in the crosshairs. So we walked on eggshells and hoped we stayed out of the crosshairs. This is the school environment that was created and fostered by someone that everyone here tonight is very familiar with. I could stand here and recount for you a variety of different incidents that led to this environment. However, what really needs to happen is that all of us who have been bullied, harassed, and abused should be heard. We deserve accountability, justice, and peace. Accountability as to why this happened, justice so it never happens again, and the peace to be able to work in an environment that is meant to be nurturing, caring, and respectful. To quote business entrepreneur Simon Sinek, leadership is not about being in charge. It is about caring for those in your charge. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Overton?
She's a hard act to follow. Nancy Overton from Palisade School District. I may be familiar name to some of you. I hope that is not a bad thing. A few thoughts I put together yesterday about being a thief. To be a good thief, one needs the cooperation of others. People to aid and abet, others to just turn a blind eye. To be a great thief, one has to lay groundwork, establish a reign of fear to keep virtuous people quiet, too afraid of retribution to speak. Establishing a reign of fear takes public practice. Ethical people will witness friends and colleagues suffer and crumble. Hardworking employees will become fearful of intrusions in their work environment. This threat can come in the form of arbitrary changes in working conditions, dramatic increases in workload, removal of privileges, purposely placed obstacles, denial of logical routine requests, and petty but time-consuming harassment. This culture of fear affects the quality of education, tempts lawsuits, and threatens student safety. A powerful reign has the ability to make healthy people sick with anxiety and panic attacks, skin conditions, stomach upset, migraines, and insomnia. Employees will seek professional care, medication, and reconsider occupational options. An ultimately powerful reign will cause dedicated people to quit over and over and over again. So it's no surprise that good people want to stay out of the crosshairs and remain silent. To be a habitual thief, the thief needs people in power to like them. They can be quite charming, full of compliments and generosity. To gain their confidence, a good thief must be a gifted con man and an excellent liar. Lies need to pour out of their mouths without effort. covering up their errors, deflecting blame to others, attempting to spoil the reputation of those who oppose them. To be a good thief, planning is required. One needs to cover their tracks and keep the coast clear. A chronic thief does not share problems from the past and knows how to keep people out of their way. They can ensure easy access for themselves by turning off loading dock cameras and getting keys to gas pumps and denying entry to others on the weekends. But theft can be more than just the taking of goods. It can also be the abuse of power and privilege. Outright theft of items is for those who become overconfident and sloppy. It's where a thief can get caught. Abuse of power comes long before that stage. Abuse of privilege can start small. Free food, a car wash at work, questionable conferences on the taxpayer's dime, or excessive socializing with a girlfriend during the workday. Or it can be big and sneaky, such as hiding the true cost of pet projects like a food truck. Power abusers wield favoritism to steal fairness and use nepotism to rob opportunity from quality people. To perpetuate this culture of dishonesty, repeated pleas for justice and sanity need to be ignored, not just by the thief, but by his whole team and those holding the thief accountable. All of us here loves this school, its mission and its students. It's taken the efforts of many people working over decades to build the reputation of the Upper Bucks County Tech School. To allow its name to tarnish is to witness another heartless, selfish thievery. Now there is a chance to say enough is enough. Now is the time to mend what's left. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Is there a Laura?
I'm going to pass because I don't think there's anything that I could say that would be more powerful than what these women have said. What we went through in this school is despicable. It really is. And as a board, you didn't contact anyone. Half the staff quit. You didn't contact any of us for exit interviews to find out why.
Not one of you.
Not one. So, do you even care? Is my question.
We know your line is the bottom line, but you know what? Most of us put in over 20 years in this school and got treated like garbage because we wanted to do our jobs and do right by the students.
Okay. Thank you. Tracy Hill.
I'm standing before you as a concerned taxpayer. My name is Tracy Hill. I'm from Bedminster, Pennsylvania, and a former Penn Ridge employee of 25 years and 6 years at Upper Bucks County Tech School. On May of 2019, I cut my career short for what you have heard before me. Since I've left, my concern is 29 other employees have left this school. 29. 29 is more than 50% of the staff at this school have left in less than 2 years. My concern is, where was the question that was just said? Why? Why have none of you reached out to try to find out why? I requested an exit meeting, and I requested that every board member be present and that every superintendent be present. When I arrived for my meeting, I arrived to one board member, the superintendent in charge, and a lawyer. That's not what I had expected. And basically what I had said meant nothing and fell on deaf ears because it continued for 2 more years. I know that several people have reached out to the board and asked for meetings. I know that several people have written letters with information as to why they have left, again, falling on deaf ears. Why wouldn't you want to find out the truth? Why are you not concerned that the school is crumbling right in front of you? I think you would be shocked to find out why people left, not what you were told why they left. Many of the people took pay cuts to get out of this building. Some people retired early, and believe it or not, people left without a job in front of them when they were finished. Again, why? 2 years, wasted money, wasted time, and a loss of valuable employees. You need to do better. You were voted in by community taxpayers that trust and respect you and expect that you're doing what's best for our children. In the case of Upper Bucks County Technical School, you have failed the school, the employees, the taxpayers, and most importantly, the students. But it's not too late to make a difference and make a change. There are several board members here that are new, and I appreciate that you are here, and I know your time is voluntary, all of you. I realize that, and I do appreciate that. But we are reaching out and asking for your help. You are the only people that can help make a difference. Start asking questions. Talk to the people that are in this building now. Don't pick and choose who you want to talk to. If you're going to do that, you need to talk to everybody. Find out what is going on, find out what they need to improve the morale of this school and to get it back to where it used to be. Listen to what they have to say and make decisions that will improve the climate, the academics, and most of all, improve the whole environment for the students. They are the ones that matter the most, not us, the kids. I found this quote last night, which is kind of amazing, from Booker T. Washington. A lie does not become truth, wrong does not become right, and evil does not become good just because it's accepted by the majority. Thank you very much.
That's all that have signed up. Do we have any more public comment? We should check on that. Here,
I got
any
two-
online?
I have 2 chats.
If you come off mute,
Or in the lower right-hand corner, there's a thing that says raise hand. You can raise hand and we'll see that you're ready to go.
we haven't, we must have something here.
Yeah, there's no comment that folks wants to speak, but, okay. But that I can see, hold on, I'm gonna have to scroll.
We'll give it another few moments, more than a few.
I just want to take a minute and thank all of you for taking time out of your day to come out here and speak to all of us because you had the opportunity. I don't know what stirred you guys to come out here. I do appreciate it. I wish you all would have came out and spoke in front of us and said your piece when it all went down. You are right, Tracy, you are right.
And nobody wanted to listen.
You are right. What you said may have fell on deaf ears at that time because it wasn't in front of the right people. And unfortunately, I'm glad you came here today. I'm glad, and I'm thanking you very much. So it's good to see you.
And, yeah, I was just saying, indeed, work is such a big part of most of our lives. It shouldn't be soul crushing. Yeah, so it's not lost on me, what you said.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, as a board member, I appreciate your comments.
Any,
Most of you had written comments, maybe added directly to the minutes.
It should be.
Copy of those,
If you feel comfortable.
if you feel comfortable.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I didn't put my name down because I am not a taxpayer in the district.
Would you like 3 minutes?
If you allow me.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't prepare anything, but I'll wait it here.
Well, we'll give you the same amount of time we gave everyone else.
That's what-
All right, just leave it under 4 minutes then.
Expires.
As the past union president, that was my job when I was here. So a lot of people looked at me as kind of like the enemy, because I'm the one battling in contracts against you guys. And, I have bias and all that stuff. I don't even, I belong to a union at my new school. I took a $15,000 pay cut to go to a different school because of the abuse at this school. And There was times where we did come to you board members. I specifically remember, Mr. Akmanowitz, that there was a talk about a pole barn, about it flooding and water coming in and being puddling. And somebody here in administration said, oh, no, it's not flooding. And 2 board members walked down with me and he insisted it wasn't. We'll go down and tour it after the meeting, but then he didn't want to go after the meeting. It's too dark. But 2 board members went down with me and saw the puddles in that building, knowing that that administrator bold-faced lied to this entire board. Nothing gets done about it. There was a barn that was collapsing. And someone can sit here and say, well, why didn't you fix it? Why didn't you take the initiative? I was told that by a board member. The township came and put a cease and desist order on the barn because the wall was ripped out. The bearing wall was ripped out. Yes, the guy who came and checked it out said, you could put an aircraft carrier on top of that thing on the main beam down the middle, not on the exterior wall. That barn was loaded with hay with students when the wall was not repaired like a 16-foot section, but it was ignored by board members. It was ignored by the administration. Okay, that it happened. How could this happen? Why? No, it was just people complaining. Okay, so yes, we've come to you. I've come to people. We've talked about people cheating on national exams, handing out copies of the test, and nothing was ever reported back. Nothing. So don't sit here and say it wasn't brought to our attention and wonder why we're here. We all know why we're here tonight. There's no doubt why we're here. We're not going to say it out loud, but we know why we're here. And what went on at this school was a travesty. And I came down tonight. I don't have a dog in this fight anymore. I'm not here. I took my time out because I care about this school. People who cared about this school were the ones who got punished the most because we were the ones who stood up against the tyrant.
Yeah.
And that's why we got driven out. I got treated so unfairly. You all know me. You know my mouth. You know I will tell you exactly how I feel. I got written up for an in-service. I sat in the front row of the in-service, but I got written up because I seemed disinterested, that I didn't want to be there. You know, if I don't want to be there and I think it's a bad in-service, I will raise my hand and say something. But I did not. I spoke. I answered more questions, asked more questions, participated more than anybody in the entire room, but I got a letter in my file for that. I got in trouble for all kinds of things that I didn't do. They were made up. Who could I go to? Nobody. So, yeah, I'm gone now. I love my job where I'm at. I'm at a school where the administration respects me and they like me.
Appreciate you.
They appreciate me. Give Bethlehem Tech School a call. Ask the administration what kind of an employee I am. I give my heart to this school. I've done how many, 5, 6 hurricane relief trips where I spent almost 2 weeks with the kids. Well, a whole 2 weekends and a week, 9 days. And at one time I actually had to have a notary public come in and I had to be their legal guardian. What kind of person takes on that responsibility unless their heart is in this school? But that's the kind of people you lost. You lost so many good people. If you ever want to talk to me off to the side, I'll list all the good people you lost. There were a few that were just retired because it was their time. But the overwhelming majority of people who left this school left because of this administration. And you need to do something about it. And I hope that you will. Thank you.
Do we have any off-site public come forward?
Nothing in the chat so far.
Nothing more from those present?
Thank you.
Unless you have questions for us, which we'll happily answer.
I don't see any more public comment at this point, so we'll move on to the final few items here. I want to announce the next regular JOC board meeting is scheduled for December 16th. Scheduled for December 16th, 2021 at 8 o'clock. here in the JOC room and via Zoom.
Do I need to do any non-returning board members? Is it customary for me to come to that last meeting to start the meeting, to swear in the new people, or? You don't need to. No.
Me too, you're certainly welcome.
He's cutting the cake, right?
What's that?
Aren't you cutting the cake?
He's getting it in his face.
I need
Just making sure, like, I didn't think I had to be here, but I wanted to make sure I asked.
Any other, I mean, that's obviously a concern or a comment from Mr. Markowitz. Anyone else? I just want to say that Dave has been a positive, good influence, well-respected member of the JOC, and I'm sorry to see him go.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'm gonna miss you guys.
I miss you too.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I let the staff down on my watch during my last 4 years. I think, as I came in during a transition, you kind of turn to the people that are supposed to do that for a living, and you need to give them the lead to have the leadership. And
Well, I think you guys were kind. I really do. I think you were kept in the dark on things purposely. And so you didn't know anything was wrong.
Dave, I just want to say thank you, and I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you too, Mike.
So, I've always appreciated your passion and your willingness to, I'm gonna get upset. You really care, and you put everything you had into it.
Okay,
Well, thank you, Dave. I've been fun working with you for 4 years. We're on the Quaker Town together, so we get to see each other quite a bit. Good man.
Thank you for your years of service, David. But you're taking a deep.
Happy to be here, and I was here because I wanted to be, and I'm glad y'all accepted me, and it seems like you wanted me here too, so thank you. I'm very proud to have been here and served here my 4 years.
okay. The final item will be a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
Second.
Mr. Rice?
And I third it.
Oh, you.
You got
I'm on six.
all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.